Hello and welcome back to the third rail. You are joining me towards the end of a running session I wasn't planning to share initially. But we are getting to the middle of the year, so I thought I'd film some of it and use it as a backdrop to a quick channel checkpoint. Everything is running very smoothly, and as you might be able to see from here, we have mixed traffic powered by a choice of mostly blue-beige locomotives. You could have seen these types of trains in real life in the mid-1970s, early 1980s. So let's start with some channel news. As of a few days ago, the channel has now generated over 500,000 views, which is quite an achievement given the topic and my unconventional approach to the hobby. I have said this in previous checkpoints and in various places on the channel, and it still applies. I would have never imagined the channel would reach this type of metrics when I uploaded my first ever video a few years back. I was about to mention something about my old fast-running trains, but as I am watching this footage, I can't help but notice the speed doesn't look that bad from this angle. There's an interesting thing when filming moving objects. It is that the perception of speed changes the closer you focus on an object. I think we're going to see that when we move to the station. Let's do this now, actually. See, things should look a bit faster here, but I haven't touched the transformer settings. They are identical to the previous view. Aren't optics funny? But back to the channel milestone. Now, I am fully aware that the channel is still very tiny by YouTube standards. Some might even say that it is a dead channel at the way it's growing. But a win is a win. So, I'd like to thank you very much for all your support, not only for your views, but also for all the likes, comments and subscriptions, and for coming back to watch and listen to my rumblings from time to time. I have also received a few super thanks since I activated the feature towards the end of 2023. I intended to put them towards the upkeep of the collection, but you were so generous that I decided to save them up and put them towards new items for the collection. What has accumulated so far was enough to acquire 2 of the locomotives currently travelling around the layout. Now we're going to break continuity for a bit. First we have a BR220 in blue-beige livery. Now you might have seen it briefly in part 2 of the reversing unit series I uploaded a few weeks back. There's a link at the top. Technically it is just a 3021, so a V200 in disguise. It's identical. And like the 3021, this one is also a racer. Now the prototype used to take care of short distance services in the Lübeck area, that was the northeast of West Germany. So it is now in front of Silberlinge as the original would have been. Nice, isn't it? The other super thanks locomotive is another blue-beige beauty. It's a class 140. Model number 3156. It's a freight locomotive that was the backbone of German rail freight between the 1970s and the 1990s. I think there are still quite a few around today. In the 1960s you could have seen it in front of passenger trains too. Now with these 2 additions, I am now only missing a single blue-beige example of a BR212 like the one we have here. The collection is getting there though. one locomotive at a time now, slowly but surely. So, if you have bought a super, many thanks for your generosity, and I hope you'll agree that it has been put to good use. The other models currently on the layout I think you have seen before, but I've put information in the description should you want to look model numbers up, etc. Now all the automation you see going on right now is still powered by my wireless control solution, which I called M-Track Reloaded. It is still going strong, as you can see. The turnout controllers are now 4 years old, just over 4 years old now, and the track sensors I used to trigger the turnouts, or to generate events that will trigger the turnouts to be precise, are now 2 years old, I think, almost to the day. So my handiwork is still holding. It's always nice when things work out. The way I have been managing the channel over the last 18 months or so has been to try and plan my videos and work off a script. Now, as you can probably hear, I am reading one now. Now, this involves quite a lot of time and effort, and this has forced me to be a bit more careful with my choice of topics. Whilst I am not chasing views, there is also no point in making a scripted video if no one is likely to be interested. This is where all the interactions you have with the channel help me a great deal. I love reading your comments, and they have been a source of very useful feedback. And in a more generic way, your likes have been helping me to assess the appetite for topics or types of videos. Please keep them coming. They are even more important now during the summer season as far as YouTube is concerned, as they feed the recommendation system and help other people discover my content. This helps the channel keeping its traction a bit. Now let's have a look at a few things that should show up on the channel in the near future. This will most certainly include items from this pile of locomotives that has formed over the last 6 to 8 months, waiting for me to decide whether to use them for a video or not. Let's have a look. We have a 3148. That's a very recent arrival. It is a Norwegian shunter, but I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this one. I need to research it a bit first and then decide. Then we also have a few T18s, but we have seen quite a few versions of them on the channel lately. With these two, I now have one of each T18 model released by Merkley in the 1980s. Now, I don't plan on showing those ones, but if you'd like to see them, I'm open to suggestions. Maybe a T18 parade type of thing? I don't know. For now, these ones are going to go in the drawer. Next, we have a 3112. That's a class 96 of the ÖBB, so it is Austrian. And anything I do about Austria is not met with a lot of enthusiasm on the channel, unfortunately. So I wasn't going to show it at all, but it arrived with a little problem, which I think will generate a bit of interest. One of its driving wheels is out of quarter, which causes the valve gear to lock, so the locomotive cannot move. Otherwise, it's in perfect condition, nearly new. So I think I should be able to fix it. So I haven't returned it. And I happen to have another locomotive of this type in another livery with similar issues. So I think this will make a very good topic for a Can I Fix It video. Then I received this 3325, that's BB 7200 of the SNCF. Now this is a very interesting class of loco in my opinion. So I will do a dedicated new additions video about this one. And a prototype, of course, as usual. What else has arrived? Ah yes, it's an AFB, a Belgian NOHAB, although the manufacturer is AFB, not NOHAB. The design is practically the same. Now we've seen one or two of them in the past, but it's been a while. So I think I might do a little parade with other NOHABs or AFBs from the collection at some point. I think I should have them all now as well. I need to check that. Now for any of the stuff I've mentioned so far, I don't know yet about the exact scheduling, but this should be enough to give you a taste of things to come. Now, that was what I could think about, but if you'd like to see something else or something specific, drop me a comment in the video description. You can also send me an email to the channel address if you are a bit shy and don't want others to see your suggestions. The email is usually listed in any of the video descriptions on the channel. Well, as we were talking, everything behaved itself. I think it's time to end this little journey in the late 1970s, early 1980s. I'd like to thank you very much for spending so much of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, hopefully enough for you to give it a like, maybe subscribe if you haven't already done so, or even send a super thanks my way if you feel the video was worth it. Thanks as ever for all your support, and bye for now.